You open your bank account. Nothing looks catastrophic. No insane luxury purchase, no obvious financial disaster, no giant mistake screaming for attention. And yet, every month, the same feeling returns. Where is my money going? That question defines the subscription economy trap, because the modern financial drain is no longer dramatic. It is silent, polished, automated, normalized. You are not being financially attacked by one terrible decision. You are being quietly surrounded by tiny monthly decisions that no longer feel like decisions at all. Streaming, music, cloud storage, premium shipping, AI tools, editing software, fitness apps, language apps, meditation apps, meal plans, phone protection, extra device storage, banking upgrades, gaming passes, news subscriptions, productivity platforms. Each one looks harmless. That is exactly why they are dangerous. As Einstein might say, not everything that drains your wallet announces itself with noise. Some costs become powerful precisely because they become invisible.
And that is the genius of the subscription economy. It removed the pain of paying. In the past, buying something forced a moment of friction. You had to stop, think, choose, spend. Now the charge happens in the background. The renewal comes while you sleep. The money leaves your account without asking for your full attention. And when spending happens without emotional friction, the brain stops treating it like spending. That changes everything. Because the companies are no longer trying to sell you one product. They are trying to secure a permanent claim on your future income. That is the real shift. The old economy wanted your purchase. The new economy wants your permission to keep billing you forever. From a business perspective, this is beautiful. Recurring revenue is stable, predictable, scalable. Investors love it. From your perspective, it can become a slow financial suffocation.
Not because one subscription is expensive, because dozens of small charges create a life that is quietly too expensive to sustain. And the brain is terrible at noticing this. A one-time cost feels big. A monthly cost feels small. That is why people hesitate at paying $300 once, then casually agree to $24.99 a month for something they may barely use. Not because it is cheaper, because it feels cheaper. This is one of the most profitable illusions in modern consumer psychology. The subscription economy does not just monetize products, it monetizes your weak instinct for long-term math. Most people are not calculating lifetime cost. They're asking a much simpler question. Can I afford this right now? And right now is where the trap wins. Because right now, $9 feels fine. $14 feels fine. $19 feels manageable. Even $29 can feel justified if the promise sounds useful enough. But your financial life is not built by one right now. It is built by accumulation. That is where the trap tightens.
A person can wake up one day and realize they're subscribed to a lifestyle they never consciously chose. Not because they are irresponsible, because modern life keeps presenting convenience in monthly form. You do not buy the music, you subscribe to access. You do not buy the software, you rent permission. You do not own the entertainment, you lease your connection to it. You do not even fully buy convenience anymore. You enroll in it. And because each payment feels small, your mind stops seeing them as real competitors for your money. But they are competing every month. Every subscription is not just a charge. It is a claim on your income, a claim on your flexibility, a claim on your future choices. That is why so many people with decent incomes still feel strangely stuck. They're not reckless, they're fragmented. Their money is being cut into pieces before they even get the chance to direct it with intention. And here's where the trap becomes deeply psychological. Many subscriptions are not sold as utilities. They are sold as versions of you. A better you, a smarter you, a healthier you, a more organized you, a more productive you, a calmer you, a more successful you. This is where the system becomes brilliant, because now you're not just paying for a tool, you're paying for self-hope. The fitness app is future discipline. The language platform is future sophistication. The productivity tool is future control. The finance membership is future intelligence. The meditation subscription is future peace. That is why people keep paying for things they barely use. They are not paying for usage. They are paying for identity. And canceling it can feel strangely emotional. Because when you cancel, you are not just removing a service, you are confronting an uncomfortable truth. Maybe I was paying for the person I wanted to become, not the life I am actually living. That is a brutal realization.
And the companies know it. That is why signing up takes seconds. That is why free trials feel effortless. That is why cancel buttons are hidden. That is why they offer to pause instead of cancel. That is why they remind you what you are about to lose. That is why they make you feel like leaving is a mistake. Because the business model depends less on your passion than on your inertia. The perfect subscriber is not the superfan. It is the distracted person, the tired person, the overwhelmed person, the person who says, "I'll cancel next week," the person who keeps paying because life got busy. That is not a side effect of the model. That is the model. And here is the part most people underestimate. The subscription economy is training your financial behavior. It teaches you to accept constant monthly leakage as normal. It teaches you to tolerate low-grade spending without scrutiny. It teaches you that if a cost is small enough, it does not deserve deep thought. But that is exactly how control disappears. Not in one dramatic collapse, in 1,000 tolerated leaks. A big expense creates pain. Pain creates memory. Memory creates caution. Subscriptions often avoid all three. They are too small to trigger panic, too automatic to trigger attention, too common to trigger resistance. That is why they survive. They don't feel dangerous. They feel normal. And normal is where some of the most expensive mistakes hide. Now, the wrong response would be to become extreme. Cancel everything, reject convenience, treat every subscription like a scam. That misses the point. Some subscriptions are absolutely worth paying for. Some save time. Some improve output. Some genuinely make life better. The problem is not recurrence. The problem is unconscious recurrence. A subscription becomes dangerous when it outlives its value. That is the real rule. Not, do I still kind of use this? Not, would it be annoying to lose? Not, is the monthly amount small enough to ignore? Ask the more honest question. If this renewed today, and I had to approve it with full awareness, would I still say yes? That question destroys illusions, because many subscriptions survive only because they renew in darkness. Bring them into the light, and suddenly they look ridiculous.
The tool you forgot. The platform you outgrew. The premium plan you never needed. The trial you never canceled. The membership tied to a goal you abandoned months ago. The app for the person you hoped to become but never became. These are not just expenses. They are financial ghosts. And ghosts are expensive when enough of them keep billing you. So the solution is not a miracle. It is visibility. List every recurring charge, every single one, not the ones you remember, all of them. Then look at them without excuses. Which ones are essential? Which ones create real recurring value? Which ones survive only through neglect, fantasy, or inertia? That last category matters more than most people realize. Because your problem may not be overspending in the obvious sense. Your problem may be that your money is leaving through doors you no longer notice. Then do one more thing. Convert every monthly charge into an annual number. This is where truth gets loud. $12 a month feels small. $144 a year feels different. $29 a month feels tolerable. $348 a year feels more serious. Now multiply that by 10, 15, 20 recurring charges. Suddenly, the trap is no longer theoretical, it becomes visible, and visibility changes behavior. Because once you can see the annual cost of your passive agreements, you start understanding a painful truth. A lot of your income is not funding your future, it is funding unfinished intentions. That abandoned health kick, that software you swore would change your workflow, that premium service you barely open, that entertainment stack that became background noise, that digital convenience package you stopped questioning. This is why some people earn more and still do not feel freer. More income does not automatically create more control, not if more systems quietly gain access to it. A leaking bucket does not become efficient because you pour in more water. And that may be the most dangerous illusion of all, thinking the answer is always to earn more, when part of the answer is to leak less.
The subscription economy thrives on ambition. The more you want to improve your life, the more things are offered to help you improve it. And the more things are offered, the more monthly commitments begin to pile up around your goals. Soon, you are not just paying for services. You are financing an ecosystem of promises. Promises to simplify your life. Promises to optimize your work. Promises to improve your body. Promises to organize your mind. Promises to save time. Promises to reduce stress. And yet many people end up with the opposite result. More cluttered expenses, more low-grade pressure, more financial confusion, less margin, less control. That is the trap. You thought you were buying convenience, but in many cases you were buying invisible dependency. And dependency is dangerous when it no longer feels optional. So before asking why progress feels slow, before asking why your income disappears so easily, before assuming you just need more money, ask a more precise question. How many invisible hands already have a monthly claim on my life? That question is uncomfortable, but it is powerful. Because wealth is not only about what you earn, it is about what you protect, what you question, what you stop funding automatically, what you no longer allow to live permanently inside your bank account just because it once sounded useful. In a world designed to turn your existence into subscriptions, financial intelligence begins with one radical act: looking directly at every recurring charge, bringing it fully back into consciousness, and deciding whether it still deserves access to your money. That is not deprivation. That is clarity. That is control. And that is how you stop renting pieces of a life you do not fully need and start owning your decisions again.